Okay, welcome to Sneak Peek 3. To start with, I'm just going to show you some of the code that has gone on in the game so far in the previous sneak peeks. So, this is my introduction map, and if we look here, here is my introduction event. It's on an auto run, so that it automatically clicks in when you play the game. We fade out the screen. That's how I got the black screen at the start rather than any tiles there. Basic text, are you a boy or a girl? And then ask the choices. So when you select one, it asks you what your name is, and what it does is it removes the blank party member. So my first actor is a blank that's just there so that you have a actor there at the start of the game. He has the blank actor has no graphic or anything like that. This is why you can't see a person before the fade out screen kicks in, which is a common mistake in a lot of games. You can see a person there. Then turns on the girl switch if you're a girl, or the boy switch if you're a boy. And then name input processing. So, if you're a girl, you are going to be this character. If you're a boy, you're going to be this character. So I select the girl character. I let you then change the name because it's this character, change the name to whatever you want, and you have a maximum of 10 letters. And then add the party member 2, so in this case Athena, into your party. So over here we've got the same thing. Notice the name input processing is Dane, so it's a boy character, and then we add Dane to the party. You'll either have player 2, actor 2, or actor 3 in your party, and you'll never have them both in your party. I then transfer the player to the starting map and flick on the starting switches that need to be played. I then play the animation Holy One and fade in the screen. This is the teleporting effect you see at the start of the game, and then I erase an event so that it doesn't keep running once we're in this map. So that's how I did my intro. So you come in about there, and what I've got here is there are conditions. So on the condition that the girl switch is on and where am I, which was turned on in the introduction, is on, it will play through this. The other option is on the switch that you are a boy, and then switch where am I, it then plays through this. They're both the exact same. The only difference is, if we look at the text, the face graphic. So that's how I get the different face graphics depending if you're a boy or a girl, is because there's actually a switch which says are you a boy or are you a girl, and on every event where there is a text which shows the main actor's graphic, I have this switch and 2 copies of the event. Okay. Now here, as an example of, I decided to do this event here when you were a girl. So if you are the boy character, it doesn't act, this event will not happen. Instead, it happens over here. It's the same event, it's just in a different place. This is just an example of how you can actually make the different storylines based on if you're a girl or a boy, and actually have the paths differ, just for something extra, which is interesting. Now, one thing I've tried to do with my maps is I've tried to make them flow into one another. So if you look at the tiles on the ground, they should match with the tiles on the ground in the previous level. And this should match between all of the different maps. The reason I've done that is I want it to feel like you're actually walking from one area and then the screen's moving, but your player is not. So there's no invisible place that you travel through really quickly. Okay, now let's have a look at over here where you get Alice in your party. Now, Alice is nothing. There's nothing there, just a graphic and a switch. The switch is when Meeting Alice is on. Now Meeting Alice on got turned on up in these events. So as long as I've hit those events, this graphic will be here, and the spirit's just always there because I thought that'd be quite cool. Otherwise I could make it Meeting Alice only, so only when you've got the Meeting Alice quest is there a spirit there. Now let's have a look at these. So these three, the only difference in them is the set move route. Everything else is the same. So I show a balloon icon on the spirit, and it's a musical note. I then play that bit of music, which is meant to be the spirit communicating with Alice, basically alerting Alice that you are there. So the player turns toward, Alice turns towards you, and the player turns towards the noise. That's what these set move routes here are. And then my actors start talking. Notice again that we do have the girl switch on because in the text we have face graphics. Now this here is a command, so if you hold your mouse over text you can see all these different commands. This means replace this command with actor 2's name, which happens to be Athena's actor slot. Here we have a name of actor 4, which is Alice. Whatever you call her will come in there. So there's just a lot of text in here, and then at the end I fade out the screen, turn off the Meeting Alice switch, add it to the party, use text with a transparent background and in the middle to say that Alice has joined your party. Wait a couple of seconds, fade in, and I'm turning these two switches on. The first one controls the slime tutorial, the second one controls the guy swimming in the lake, which you will see later on in a quest. So now onwards to the slime tutorial. So all of these ones around the edge are the same. Before we go there, if we go back up here, as you'll notice there are two pages, one for boy, one for girl, and the only difference again is the face graphic, and in this case it's player actor number 3 because that's Dane's slot. If I'd left it as 2 it would have put Athena's name rather than Dane's name, or whatever you called your character. Okay, so let's look at the slime tutorial. So the slime tutorial, we have a couple of different pages. The first one is when first slime is on and you're a girl. We have a exclamation on the player and some talking. Show choices. Do you know how to fight? If you say yes, the Alice goes okay. Whenever you're ready to fight, go for it. And the switch gets turned on. This means it's just going to be a normal slime rather than a tutorial slime. So if we look in database and into troops, I have my boy and girl slime. The reason I've got a boy and girl slime is at the bottom, again, there's the face graphic of your main actor. So at the bottom. And if you pick yes, you know how to fight, it's just a slime with no events. Whenever you're ready. When no, I gather my followers. That's how Alice and my main character stay on the same square. And then I remove my main character and Alice moves to the enemy. At the same time, I use a self switch to make this graphic become my character that I've left out of my party, so they're waiting on the sideline. And then I've got the boy version. So that's it really for this video.